Tracy-Ann Oberman is known to millions thanks to roles in things like Eastenders, Friday Night Dinner, so many other things, and the award-winning It's a Sin, of course. But in recent years, well, she kind of put her TV career on hold a bit to focus on what she describes as the most important ever role she's had. And she joins me now, and it's lovely to see you.
Hello, Lorraine. Lovely
It's great to see you.
So nice.
Now, The Merchant of Venice has taken on the way that you've interpreted it. It's like it's just taken on a life of its own. It's been astonishing, hasn't it?
Astonishing. So I started working on it 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I hate this play. I think it's a really difficult Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And people are talking about taking it out of the canon. But I thought, no, let's try and reclaim it. And I thought, what would happen if you took Shylock, this Jewish moneylender, and I turned it into all these amazing matriarchs that my great-grandmother who'd come over from Belarus at 14, and Machine Gun Molly, who was another great aunt of mine, and Sarah Portugal, who had a slash of red lipstick and smoked a cigar. And these were tough, strong widows living in the East End of London. And everything that had made them survive in Belarus, you know, was a bit of an anathema in England that liked their, women to be very decorative and quiet.
Indeed.
So I thought, let's turn Shylock into a tough, strong matriarch, and instead of having Venetian aristocracy, let's make it count. And we set it against the 1930s fascism of Oswald Mosley, who was great friends with Hitler, married Diana Mitford at Goebbels' house. Hitler gave him the playbook of whipping up Jewish hatred in order to get working class support. And it all culminated in an amazing civil rights moment in this country, which was the Battle of Cable Street, where he marched on the Jewish entity at the East End of London. And my great-grandmother was there, and they stood up to him, and they said, "You shall not pass." And rather than being alone, all their neighbours joined them. The Irish working class, English working class, the dockers, small Afro-Caribbean community, Somali sailors, and they all stood together and they said, "You shall not pass," and they didn't pass. So I've sort of merged it all together to talk about, and little did I know 5 years ago quite what a febrile time we were going to be in at the moment.
Indeed, because it's more relevant now, probably, than ever it was. That's the thing about Shakespeare, though.
Yeah.
It becomes that, doesn't it? And especially your interpretation of it. I think it's been very important for you to do that, but also for people to see this and to see the context.
And we've taken it, it was meant to be 2 weeks in Watford, and then it's sort of gone on. It's been like a year and a half. We took it all over the country, incredible audiences. Who knew that a 1.5 hour Shakespeare Merchant of Venice would have sold out everywhere? I'm so grateful to audiences all around the country who've just loved this show and have propelled it into the West End.
They absolutely have. It's the passion, though. I think that's what people, it's certainly what the audience feel, is your passion, the passion of the rest of the cast, and the fact that you can see parallels. That's the thing. You really, really can. Yeah. And it makes it, it's tough times for you, it's tough times for the Jewish community anyway.
Yeah, and I think
it's never been easy, right?
There's a huge raise in...
There is. Both, and it's horrible to say both sides because we're all human beings at the end of the day, and that's what we want. We want equality for everybody, and I know you've stood up for that. You've marched for that.
Yeah. These are really difficult times, but we have to remember, very much like in the play, there are external evils that want us to be fighting each other in an oppression Olympics, but we are all human, we are all together, and we should stand together and not forget our humanity for all of us.
We've got more in common than divides us. You find that all the time if you actually start just talking to people and taking the heat out of it, and it's just...
And take the human stories rather than the big, the big headlines.
Exactly.
And the sad thing is, I think you're absolutely right, we just have to remember at the end of the day, we all just want to live a safe, peaceful, happy life with the same rights for everybody.
Exactly, and look after our kids and make sure that they're not hungry. I think that's really what everybody wants to do. The thing that I really like about you, and you do this a lot, and you've done this, we've seen you as a really strong character in EastEnders. I've never seen you play anybody kind of reticent and shy. Have you ever done that?
No, I have.
Have you?
Yes. I did a play by Jim Cartwright where I played an abused wife. And I hardly said a word.
Really?
Yeah, and I just had to sit there and just channel it all in. I have played very...
Because you've got this, I think you've just got... Because you seem larger than life, which is good, which is a really good thing. Because I know, and we've talked about this before, you've worked on this absolutely brilliant idea. We love the feud. We all love a feud, don't we? Yeah. Especially when it involves two women. And Bette Davis and Joan Crawford, it's the most famous one. Yep. It's the most famous one. And, of course, they came together and Baby Jane and all the rest of it. And you've done this play, but it's looking like it's going to, again, take on another life.
I know. So I wrote it years ago, way before Feud. I remember coming on to talk to you because we both were a bit obsessed with Betty and Joan. I wrote it as a Radio 4 play, and then it was going to be turned into a TV series, and then it didn't quite happen, and then Feud happened.
Yeah.
And now we've turned it into a musical. And I had to say, it's bloody great. I'm really excited about it. You'll love it. It's really
right
great.
up
It's
my
really
street.
poignant. I'm not in it, but but it's a beautiful musical, and so we're developing that at the moment.
Fantastic.
And I'm really excited about it.
I can't wait.
It's funny and frothy and a bit camp, but also very poignant.
But also, I think it's good because your life has been kind of overtaken by the Mayor of Venice. It's good to do something completely different,
exactly.
Totally different, and also that you can just keep an eye on and sort.
Exactly.
It is so good to see you.
Thank you.
It really is. The Merchant of Venice, 1936.
Yep.
It continues its West End run. You've got until Saturday, and I can thoroughly recommend
Criterion Theatre.
Criterion Theatre.
Come and support it.
Thank you. Thank you, Tracy-Ann. It's great to see you.
Right.